Wow. I think we're live.
I don't know.
Oh,
I can't tell. I only see this guy who looks like a tool, and this other guy who looks like a bigger tool.
yeah.
Ouch.
That's something I forgot to do.
What's that?
Fucking unmute my goddamn phone. Or mute my phone.
Oh.
Mm. Um, Welcome to the podcast. This is, I guess a follow-up to the old shit we put on that one channel that nobody watched.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All two of you.
Oh, yeah. That's generous. Unless you're counting us. But I don't think you ever watched it.
I was.
Uh, uh, So yeah, we're gonna try to do this as a weekly thing. Uh, Emphasis on try. Uh, so we are your hosts. The neo-Nazi degenerate who swings his dick around like a ape in public schools, and Death by Men.
Something
So
like that. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Uh, so yes, I'm the Junker. This
And I'm the guy who saw the jank. We're not gonna talk about that. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm Death by Minute.
Uh,
Welcome everybody.
Hello.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. So yeah, we're gonna mostly focus on gaming. We might throw our opinions that nobody asked for at other things, such as one of the topics I'd like to talk about today. Uh, but for the most part, no politics. For the most part, we're gonna try at least. Um,
Politics here.
yeah. Pay no attention to the politics above me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, would you like to start out with how your week went, or like how do you want to do this? Because
So, not really. I
no,
think we should get right to the news.
right to the news.
Right to the news.
Okay, is that actually toning you up, or is that toning you down? Because now if that will allow, if it seems to not be working. Anyway, uh, professional.
That's what we do.
Yep. So, news, you say? There's something that came to mind, or are we talking about the movie? Did we
Something
want?
that came to mind? Well, perhaps the prequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, so you have heard about that? Yes, I'm actually I've only played a couple of Muso games as they were referred to, like the Blank Warriors, made by the same people. Um, and I played the One Piece one, but again, that's One Piece, and you could give less of a shit. Um, but I mean, they were decent games. They, it's one person. Sometimes you have some AI teammates versus thousands of fucking like just 1-2 hit grunt level people, and then eventually a boss character. Um, and the fact that I mean they've already done something with that as in a Zelda setting, Hyrule Warriors. This is actually a I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's actually a like expansion to it because it's called Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So I'm not sure if it's like a DLC expansion or if it's a sequel of some.
It's a prequel
Well,
standalone game.
oh, it is a standalone. Standalone is the word I was looking for. But yeah, I'll probably get it
It's
just.
its own thing.
Yeah, I'll probably get it just because of the fact that it takes place during the calamity, um, and it gives me an excuse to actually get a Hyrule Warriors-esque game because I I was interested but never had that push to actually go and get it.
Right.
Um, and it will certainly, hopefully, tide me over until Breath of the Wild 2.
What I liked about the idea was that it's basically the Fall of Reach, but for Zelda.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, from the beginning, you know the end. That was the tagline for Halo Reach, and it will be as much the same with this one.
Mm. Unless you read the book, in which case it's the same but different.
Mhm.
Uh,
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that game. It'll be the first of that kind that I've ever bought myself as well.
have you ever played any of them? You have?
I played one at someone's house on a Wii U, but
Probably Hyrule Warriors then. Was it Zelda
yeah,
based?
it was Hyrule
Oh,
Warriors.
okay. Yeah, I want to say PS2 era is when the original, fuck. Was it Samurai Warriors? I know it was Japanese-based, setting.
Mhm.
I think it's Samurai Warriors. But it's been around, that genre of game has been around for quite a while. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of Halo, uh, I have recently gotten into Halo, quite a bit. You have been into Halo for a lot longer. A lot longer. I played Reach back when it came out. It came with the Xbox, maybe not when it came out, but it came for free with the Xbox 360 I got late into the 360's lifespan. But that was the first Halo experience I had was Reach. I mean, I didn't actually beat the campaign of it for years, and I only played the multiplayer for a bit. I wasn't too into it. I mostly just played it so I could play, with you. Um,
Bad choice.
yeah, yeah. Uh, so it was mostly just kind of a thing that existed. It's like, oh, it's Xbox's flagship. Yeah, it's just kind of there, being the PlayStation and Nintendo person I was.
Well, I like the past tense there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I'm excited. I play everything.
yeah. I mean, I literally have a PC now. I may have everything also, but I have a PC, so it's moot.
Right.
um, that's one politician we will get into is PC Master Race forever, so fuck off everyone else.
First of all, you can fuck off, right? GameCube Master Race. Never even had a GameCube.
Touche. I do. I have Sunshine. That's it. Is that true? Yeah.
Wii U Master Race. Let's be honest here.
The fucking tablet.
Oh yeah. Tablet minus all the features.
What the features?
Yeah, tablet minus all the features in games.
So yeah, it wasn't for many years. Probably, actually, this year I think is when I actually decided to start getting to Halo again. I mean, I got the MGC collection back on Xbox One when that came out, just because. I want to say I got Halo 4 when that came out, just because. I think that came out before MGC, right? Yeah, I think I got that and MGC. Again, I touched them for a bit, as odd as that sounds to say that. But I really wasn't into it. It wasn't until very recently, like this year, that I ended up like trying to play through them again. Realized that the story there was actually a story to go with it, and a premise called the Bible. But jokes aside, the fact that there was literally I'm gonna say some spoilers for a game that came out in 2001, was it?
Unacceptable.
Yeah, 19 years ago, almost 20. The fact that there was a kill switch for the universe. Fuck. And there's a reason why there was a kill switch for the universe. It's because...
A very good reason.
Yes, a very good reason. Because, there was a fucking plague, not unlike the one we have now, that will literally consume all life as it fucking exists. And the ancient forerunners, as they're called, who in Halo universe are far superior, technologically superior to anything else that exists. Could not beat them after, I don't remember how long the duration of the fighting was with them, but the fact that they created AIs that literally, one got defected to the Flood, and then they created another one to counteract the one they already created, and the fact they literally ended up, by the end of it, controlling millions of fucking ships at once, doing maneuvers that cannot physically be done with human beings, like, in the crafts. And that's the kind of fight that was happening. It's like, yeah, let's hit the switch. It's like, we've done the precautions, we've put backup life forms, like, life will happen again, but this one's fucked.
This one has to go.
Yeah. So the fact that people would physically have to be like, and understand, like, we have to die in order for the universe to continue. And then they did. That
sounds a lot like the Dead Space plot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It sounds like I didn't already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a lot of ways similar to how Dead Space's system works, where you have to kill yourself in order to preserve humanity for everyone else. Because if you don't, and you get infected, there's a very good possibility you're going to get somebody else and then turn them.
But yeah, once I actually found out that there's a story involved, and I love a good story when it comes to things. I actually ended up picking up the books. I've already read through The Fall of Reach. I'm a couple chapters, like less than 5 into The Flood. I wouldn't say halfway through Halo 2 yet. I'd say I'm not even a quarter, if. But I'm in. I'm in. I like Halo now.
Which is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
From how long I've tried getting you into it. You're like, I just, like, I'll play custom games, but the multiplayer sucks, and I'm not interested in the campaign. So it's like,
I mean, I'm still trying to get over the fact, but I think I might be set in stone. I like the story, but the gameplay, something about it, I don't. Like, I'm trying, I'm giving it a fucking try, which is more than I could have said before, because of the story, and I like it, but the game, I can see how it's fun, I don't like it. I'm trying, though. I'm trying.
Ultimately, what makes the game fun is using your brains to figure out how each weapon is supposed to perform in the sandbox that is given to you.
Mm.
And as the games have progressed from 1 to 3, we're going to exclude everything else after that. From those 3 games, the sandbox has really not just improved, but really gotten more complicated. So you have to think of more about what you're carrying with you, what kind of enemy you're going against. Right, because obviously, throughout most of the missions in Halos, the weapons that you use will be on every single map, right?
Mm.
But of course, depending on what kind of enemy you're fighting, one weapon that is really good against one type of enemy really probably shouldn't use against another. For instance, plasma weapons are really good against shields.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if you're fighting Flood, yes, they will kill the Flood, but there are much better ways for killing the Flood. Like
you could also just use ballistics.
Precision. Yeah. Which is a lot better, and you don't use as much ammo.
Yeah. Like, what I found during the library, best mission in the game, is, I was using the shotgun against basically everything except for the little spores, I think they're called, in which case I used the assault rifle. Because, I'd wait for them to clump up like they tend to when they're following you, and then just, do a couple of burst rounds into the Flood. and that seemed to be the most effective. And then as soon as something that was actually possessed got close to me, it's like, okay, shotgun in your weak point or general area, and that tend to do it. Um, and then I just did that for half an hour, and I eventually got through the that mission. Um, but yeah,
That mission's also pretty cool because you can actually sequence skip a lot of that mission.
oh yeah,
So you know the elevator that you go up, right?
yes, the like 3 of them.
The giant elevator that you
Yeah,
go up multiple times. Well, um, you can actually go around the elevator itself, jumping over the barriers that are to the left and right of each of the entrances to the elevator. You can sequence skip all those parts by just jumping over the mounds and getting to the elevator terminal. So for those of you who don't know how to do that, you should do it. You should try. Pretty cool. At least saves you like 15 minutes. At least 15 minutes of the mission. You can just skip right now.
isn't the pole time like 25 minutes? Which is like a
Something like
ridiculous
that, yeah.
considering they also like 15:10 or some shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about pole times at all. You might want to turn your mic up a little bit though, because I don't know if it's just me, but um, like it's showing that it's going up to the half point, which should be fine, but
I'm at 78% now.
okay, that should be fine, I'm sure. It's just my end. Um, but yeah, Halo's good. I enjoy getting into it. Um, what else? Have you played anything recently that's
Thing new?
anything new, or just what have you played this week? Like what's
Well, I've been playing a lot of Fallout because I'm trying to get you ranked up. You know,
Mhm.
trying to make preparations for that. Other than
Indeed.
that, I'm preparing for the next season of Destiny, which, for those of you who don't play Destiny, continue to not play Destiny. Um, but for people like me who have already gotten into it, I mean, you're in it for the long haul. I mean, you've already put all the time and everything into the game. I mean, I've built like way too much to stop doing it now, basically. Hopefully it gets better. But yeah, Fallout 76 is pretty fun. For those of you who don't own it, I'd wait for it to go on sale for around $30 or less. If you get it for around that price tag, I'd say it's worth it. Not any higher though. I wouldn't go any higher than 30, even with what they've added for content. Pretty fun game.
Yeah, I mean it's Fallout, um,
Mm-hmm.
which is something you
It's
couldn't.
definitely Bethesda Fallout.
Yeah, Bethesda, yeah. Which isn't something you could have said like when it first came out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have even considered it a Fallout at that point.
I
Uh,
sure as well didn't. It took them vastly changing how the game works and then adding NPCs to the game for me to even consider trying it.
remember no NPCs.
No NPCs. And ironically, the dialogue system in Fallout 76, having experienced it yourself, I mean, you've only just started playing the game, but you can already see, right, how the dialogue system is better in Fallout 76, which took years to get NPCs, than Fallout 4 with NPCs from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Positive, negative, sarcastic. Like,
Same answer,
yeah.
except he's yelling in one of
So,
them.
yeah. Like, whatever, man. At least in
Like,
Fallout 76, you see word for word what you're going
yeah.
to say.
like
And
apparently,
there's,
apparently the fact that that one mission we just did recently, you, the there comes to a situation where you're like, okay, we have to kill this guy, or like, well, maybe there's a cure type thing, and it was after the fact that I'm like, okay, I'll do it for the joke. I'll punch him in the face. You were like, well, he's still alive. I don't know if that's a cure yet, though. It's like, wait, what? So apparently missions, well, not even just quests and missions, but entire like quest lines could alter completely. Like that's insane considering Fallout 76. Just saying the name of the game is
triggering.
yes.
Every gamer out there should be mad. Everyone. Every
Oh.
one of us. The most oppressed minority. Another really fun game that's similar to Fallout 76 in some fashion. I think I had it here. I was going to talk about it. I already missed it. Dang it. Either way, Fallout 76 is a really fun game. There's not a whole lot of games that are like it per se. Obviously, it's an online survival game, which there's plenty of those. But the way that they do it in Fallout, where you can largely ignore everyone else on the map if you don't want to interact with them, you don't have to. That's pretty cool for the people who like want to play a single player experience. Because again, like me, I've definitely dropped out of playing multiplayer games a lot in the past like 4 years. I've just and it had a steady decline of playing multiplayer games and just going back into my single player comfort zone, you know.
Yeah.
And Fallout 76 allows you to do that, which is nice. Um, but again, if you do want to interact with other people, you know, you can go to their bases, you know, meet up with them, group up, or trade or whatever. You know, it's a pretty cool system that they got.
I
They should
agree.
definitely increase the weight though. Big complaint there, but yeah. Anything else you feel like talking about?
Yeah. Any other games or anything else that happened to you this week? Uh, Work related even?
Work related.
Yeah.
Oh man, the joys of working in retail.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I told you the story yet. It might be a first time for you as well as the audience.
Oh, good. Good.
Um, so I work in a deli. For those of you who don't know, I work in a supermarket's deli. Um, and of course, with the things that are going on, you know, the virus from a certain country in the world that I can't say, or else they're gonna bomb my house.
Oh, fuck, there's a bat.
I think it's in that Super Bowl over there, right behind you. Anyways, so I work in a deli.
Ozzy
And
Osbourne?
there's rules where you have to social distance. Obviously, in most places, obviously enforce that.
Obviously.
Well, we were told that we have to stop serving customers if they're not standing in the line that is designated for them. Because you used to be able to order from the counter where you get your meat and cheese cut, but also to the left where your bulk salads are. To change that, to get people to stop clumping up in one area, they clumped everyone up in one area in front of the line where you get your meats and cheese cut. It made it so you cannot order bulk salads in front of the bulk salad. You have to you have to go to the left to order bulk salads. And if that I've been written up multiple times for ignoring the rule, so I stopped ignoring. I was like, all right, well, I have to listen to it. I don't want to lose my job, you know. So, well,
So
I
you
do,
say.
but
Yeah.
I do, but I want money. So, um, I'm cleaning a slicer to help this customer who's coming up for assistance. And behind where the bulk salads are, there is a customer asking for help. He's like, excuse me, as I'm cleaning my slicer. I stop. I was like, oh, hi. He's like, I want to order some salads. I'm like, okay. Here's the thing. In front of that bulk salad, there's a sign, two signs actually, that both say, if you're ordering bulk salads, please go to your left. We need social distancing, so please cooperate and go over to the left and order your stuff. Right? He obviously didn't read that because no one does. No one at all.
People don't read.
So he says, you know, he wants a half pound of this rotisserie chicken salad. I'm like, all right, cool. I start, you know, give him his salad, and I say, and I quote, all right, if in the future you would like to order more salads, we ask that you please go to your left and order them from the line. And he's like, oh, where? I'm like, oh, here, over to your left. And I point to it. I was like, there's these red dots on the ground there that they ask you to stand on. He's like, oh, okay. And I put the label for the salad on the container. I handed it to him, and he's like, "Oh, and FYI, I'll order where I want." And he walked off. I'm like, "Okay." And I bet you. I bet and the thing is, he did it in front of his son, right? Because his son was there. And I bet you he did it to feel like a hard ass in front of his son. But in reality, I'm like thinking to myself, you just look like such a bitch in front of your son. Like, FYI, I'll do what I want. Like, okay. I'm not the one that made the rule, guy. I just get paid to enforce it. Whatever.
You know, that's a good segue into people saying, "Oh, I'll do what I want," or "Oh, you've just lost a customer," or I'm gonna your competitor does it." It's like, first of all, why the fuck are you telling me, a grunt level employee? Why the fuck do I care? Go.
Mm-hmm.
Let them deal with your stupidity.
And that same day too, I had a customer. That's another thing. Another one of the COVID rules is you're not allowed to hand out samples anymore. So when a customer wants to try something, you have to just sell it to them. Reason for that is you cannot give a customer open food in it without a container. It has to be in a container. So we have, the olive bar and the salad bar where you can make your own salads and stuff. You grab all the ingredients that you want and they just weigh it out for you. You can't do that anymore. You have to buy it in like these plastic containers. So if you only want like 2 olives to add into your salad or whatever, you have to buy like a half pound of olives to put in your salad at once now. It's so stupid. But people actually do buy it, which is amazing to me. I don't know why people do that, but whatever. Back to what I was saying though. I had a customer who asked for a half pound of our beef bologna that was on sale, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. How much would you like? He's like, oh, no, I want to try. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I can't offer you a sample of that. And he's like, well, why not? I was like, because, COVID, I can't hand out samples. You have to just buy, however much you want. And he's like, well, that's not cool. I'm like, yeah, I agree. I think it's a stupid rule personally, but I have to enforce it. I can't just ignore the rules in my store. And he's like, if I tried this and I liked it, I'd buy a lot more. And he's like, you're costing the store a sale. I'm like, correction. The store is costing itself a sale. I'm not doing anything. If anything, I'm following the rules. I was like, I'll tell you what though. All right. I'm not trying to be a pain in your ass. I'll cut an extra 2 slices and you can have those for free inside of the bag. I just cannot hand you a sample. Right. He's like, okay, cool. So yeah, he buys a quarter of a pound and I handed it. He takes them right out of the bag right there in front of me and starts eating them. I mean, yeah, perfectly acceptable. That's not something I can control. That's out of my hands.
Yeah.
All I did was sell him the product,
Yeah.
right? So he's like, all right, cool. I'll get another quarter pound after you try it. He's like, I want another quarter pound. I'm like, all right, cool.
Okay. I mean,
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he tried spitting like I was costing, the store money because I refused to give him a sample.
God.
How is that my fault? Like,
and why do you think I care?
Yeah, if they lose money because they decide that I cannot give you a sample, why do I care? It's not gonna. I don't get commission working here, guy. I don't care how much or little you buy. That's another thing too. Like when you're working at the deli, when like, hey, you're a little bit under a pound. Do you want to go for a pound, or do you want to stay where you are? And one of the things that they'll say to me is, I bet you're just trying to sell me more product. I'm like, I don't care if you buy more product. You could just say you don't want it right now and just toss it in the garbage. I don't care. I frankly don't care at all how much or little you buy. All I care about is I'm out in 2 hours. That's all. So how about you? How are things going your end?
Yeah, something similar to that happened. Well, people are stupid. So let's see what happened here. So I work at a pizza place. I'm a delivery driver. I used to be in management, but for reasons I stepped down. Now I was What was I doing? God damn it. I honestly can't even remember the situation, but customer said like, well, Papa John's does it, or something stupid like that, and I couldn't say the thing I wanted to say. Obviously, it's like, but like, well, I'm sorry, but we don't. So, like, I don't understand why people think that we care. It's like, one customer isn't even gonna show a statistical change in the numbers to the point where even someone that looks at that for a job will notice. And that's not what I do. I deliver pizza and sometimes help the customers when, the people inside need the help. Why do you think I would give a shit if you go to another place? That's one less dumbass I have to deal with. I don't... Like, there are so many things that customers do. And not all customers, obviously, but like...
But so many of them.
So many of them.
So many.
Like,
so many are just so, like, unintelligent.
yeah, like, you would think it's so simple. Ordering a pizza. Like, just thinking about that. It's probably the exact opposite of rocket science. On one end of the spectrum is rocket science. On the other, ordering a fucking pizza. Let me tell you how easy it is to order a pizza with my pizza company. I'm gonna say it. I work for Domino's. I don't know if you can still do it, but you can literally send a fucking pizza emoji. I don't know who to who, but I know you can. A single pizza emoji, and that's you having ordered a pizza.
The Domino's app.
But that's all you have to do. It's so simple. So, how can so many people have so much difficulty? Like...
You ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
No. But I feel like I live in it.
The movie has a scene where, and it's been a while since I've watched it, so I'm kind of paraphrasing here. There's a government worker, and one of the options to get the machine that she is hired to work on to do its job is to put a star-shaped toy inside of a star-shaped hole, and she can't figure it out because she grabbed the rectangular one. So even if the operation is so simple, like sending a pizza emoji, it is too much for the barbaric troglodytes that are actually operating it. Imagine, if you will, a universe where no one knows how to send a pizza emoji to order a pizza. That is the world we live in.
But even... Okay. Let me tell you how many times this happens. If you live in an apartment, you need to know what your apartment number is, correct? If you want your mail, and your fucking mail. If you want your mail to get into the correct mailbox in that apartment complex, you need to know your apartment number. You need to give that information to them. Why the fuck wouldn't you give your apartment number to the pizza place when you're ordering for delivery? Do you want me to just show up at the fucking front gate and be like, I got pizza. I don't know who it's going to, but it's here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just applicable year-round. Let's talk about something more specific. COVID happened. Now we have, instead of closing down, which makes sense, because the nature of the job is, I go from the store to a person's house, back to the store. Now, if that person had COVID, now I have COVID. Now everyone in my store has COVID. Guess what? All these people in the store, I'm not the only driver. We have other drivers going to other houses. COVID, 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 COVID. Why the fuck are we still open? Anyway.
You know that play in Team America where they say everybody has AIDS, everybody has COVID.
Yeah. But yeah. So we had to do contactless delivery. Now that's only something it's gotten to a point where you have to ask for it, basically. Like, we're more than willing to do it. I'm fine with it. It actually makes my life easier. I don't have to talk to anybody. You just leave it on either a chair or a table outside, or even the floor mat if that's what they want. You ring the doorbell, knock on the door, whatever, and then you just walk back to your car. And then they come out and grab it. And that's it. It's easy. Obviously, you have to pay for it online for that to work. So, anytime I see on my driver tag, leave pizza on in front of door and leave, it's like, okay, that's fine. And then I look up, oh, it's a cash order. Are you wanting it for free? So guess what I do? I knock on the fucking door.
Option?
Yes, it's an option.
That's hilarious.
Because you can do that. You can leave in the driver tag on the notes. It's like how you want the delivery to take place. Because a lot of people want contactless. It's like, I'm fine with that, but you have to pay for your food. Like some people who are smart, I mean, they're paying cash, but at least they're like, you know, the money's under a flower pot or some shit. Like, they hide the money somewhere and tell us where it is. It's like, I'm fine with that. I'll take the money, I'll leave the pizza, and it's fine. It's whatever. But if you just say, leave in front of door, then leave, or knock, then leave, it's like, you still have to pay for the food. So I'm going to knock on your door, stand there and wait till you open the door and be like, okay, it's this much money.
Makes sense.
So it's like common sense. It's like... And then there's the people that stay at hotels, it's like, that seem to think that we work for the hotel. It's like, you realize in order to get this number, you must have gone online, searched for Domino's, pulled up a completely different number, and called that number, right? You must have done that. So why the fuck would I work for your hotel? Like, there's casinos / hotels that, in the old store I used to work at, that, you know, we're not allowed in because the casinos will literally call the cops and have us towed. Because we're, you know, trespassing. They don't want us working there because they have a pizza place built into their store. Or into their hotel. Obviously, they don't want their customers shopping elsewhere. That's money they could be pocketing. So what we have to do is we have to call them to meet them behind the casino in the unlit, you know, dock right next to the ocean. Because, you know, that's fun. We don't like doing that. But they will still complain and be like, well, can't you just come up to the room? And it's like, no, we can't. Yeah, but I'm in a hotel. I don't want to have to walk down there. It's like, I'm sorry? No pizza?
I mean, can't you just deal with your car getting towed? I want my pizza in my room.
Yeah.
Just bring it here.
But what's both funny and annoying as shit is, like, a week or two after I went to a different store. I don't think I've told you this yet. They have limited limited how the casinos can order. Because before they could just order it and we'd have to deal with it. Now they have to do hotspots. Hotspots are a thing where you have to be within, like, a certain amount of distance from the specific spot that's designated for you even be able to order there. And then basically you will meet the driver there. You know, it makes sense, I guess. It's stupid, but in this situation it makes sense. Because now the casino people can't be like, well, I didn't know I'm supposed to meet you. It's like, well, no, you did. That's the hotspot told you. But either because people are stubborn and don't want to use the hotspot, or they're too dumb to know how to do a hotspot, they have decided that instead of going through the proper procedures of clicking hotspot and just doing it, they've decided to give incorrect addresses in order to circumvent. Because if you try to order it with the address of the casino, it'll be like, sorry, you can't do that. Please try to do please order through hotspot. So they will be like, okay, well, if the casino's address is 151 yada yada, we'll do 152 yada yada, and then just write in the notes such and such hotel. It's like, no. So it goes through, because of course it does, because the computer's stupid. It'll go through. We see that, we have to call them, be like, we have to cancel this order. You have to replace it as a hotspot, and then they bitch and complain, because it's like, on one hand, it's annoying that they're finally doing something with casinos after I've left, but it's hilarious because now I don't have to deal with that shit.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I do what I want. Can't tell them what to do.
You're right, we can't, but we can tell you no pizza.
That's
So
the thing, right?
I'm noticing just how fucking crooked my nose is, and it's kind of annoying me. Holy shit. Has it always been that fuck? Whatever.
All right.
So yeah, that's fucking Domino's. So hey, hypothetical question for you. Are you French? Do you have any French in you?
None.
No? So you don't feel the need to touch children?
None.
No? You don't have you don't want to watch the 11-year-old spread eagle in front of you and then talk? Is that not something you want to do? Well, because according to a French...
I'm not a liberal.
Okay, well, I mean, according to a French movie director, apparently that's what we want, or at least that's what he wants.
She. It was a woman. A woman made that film. That's okay.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay, anyway,
yeah, it's completely okay for them to do that. Yeah.
So again, trying not to get too political, but we do still need to address the Netflix movie Cuties, as it's called, is definitely a hot take at the moment, and I feel like it is not political to say that don't fuck the children. Just don't fuck the children.
Don't lewd the children either.
Don't lewd the lowlies.
Mm-hmm.
But at least in lowly cases, they're still 18. They're also fictional characters.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the thing that like people still struggle with this idea to this day. The separation between art and life. Right? How many times has the government tried to blame video games on violence? Right?
Every fucking
How
day.
many times?
Daily.
Right? So like when you have an anime or something that's, not IRL, not an actual actor who's underage.
Mm-hmm. A fucking cartoon.
You have a cartoon where someone is underage and they're doing something that an underage person should not be doing. Like maybe, for instance, smoking in part 3 of JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, right? There is not an actual child or a teenager who is underage doing that, so that it should be completely fine, right? Again, it's the depiction of something. It's not an actual event.
Yeah.
In the case of Cuties, where they actually have
11. No, the actors all 11.
11-year-olds across the board.
As of that age.
Of that age
too
bracket.
too young. Too young is the age.
Too young, right? Doing these sexually explicit dances like it's completely normal. Somehow. Right? How is it that that's completely fine with these people, but games are not fine? Again, fiction and reality. So I'm gonna quote someone. I believe it was Tim Pool that said that he's a journalist.
Oh, wow.
Right? He's an independent journalist. He's like, having a movie about kids being exploited sexually and making a movie about it, about how it's bad, but actually, for real, sexually exploiting children to prove that sexually exploiting children is bad. That's like saying how drugs are bad, and then having all the actors in your film get fucking cranked on like a mountain of cocaine. Like, see how this guy had a heart attack on the set? You should not be doing this. You see the problem there? Or say, murder is bad, okay?
Okay.
And then you murder everyone on the set and then live stream it on Facebook. How is that any different? You're actually doing the thing that you're saying is bad. But in reality, it was never about a message that they were trying to send. It was more so, all right, well, you know, Biden hasn't gotten his rocks off on a 11-year-old recently because of COVID. He hasn't been able to snip their hair. So, you know, at least he can watch this movie to do it instead.
I'm so glad you made the joke before I did. Because I was literally just going to say something about Biden.
You know, Biden hasn't snipped some girl's hair yet in a couple of months because of COVID. You know, he's been busy in his basement sleeping, so... Okay, right. No politics, right. Sorry, we don't do politics up in this channel here. But for real though, like,
At
why
least
have these
Bill...
parents not lost custody of their fucking kids and then put in prison? Why have all the people who have been involved in this film not been thrown in prison? What the fuck? I want to know. Okay, there's been a lot of people who have been unsubbing from Netflix because of this. I want to know how many people are newly subscribed to Netflix ever since this came out. That's what I want to know. I want to find out who it is, and I want to fucking hunt them down and kick them off the fucking service. No, stop that.
Like,
bad.
There is a line that needs to be drawn, and I feel like it should have been drawn before this. Like, I mean, I have nieces. I have what I call stepdaughters, even though I'm not married to their mom. But yet. They're on dance, and I don't approve of what these dance classes make them do. But even then, it's not nearly as bad as what's in this movie.
I'm gonna make one quote or one reference, right? Frank is the one in charge of this prom, right? Or the dance, right? With these little girls. It's always setting in Philadelphia when he's like, I didn't know they were kids. I thought there were gonna be a whole bunch of broads here, but they're all children, right? Remember the end of that episode where they're all like, yeah, this kind of thing is like crack for them, for pedophiles. Like, it's going to draw them to this, Same idea. Netflix having cuties is going to draw all the pedophiles to your fucking service, giving you money so they can look at these girls. And again, like, there was like a list, right? Like spread crotches, touching their own private parts,
Apparently actual nudity.
Yeah, almost actual nudity. Apparently it wasn't actual nudity. I'm not going to look at it, so I'm not going to verify.
As much as I feel like we shouldn't criticize because we haven't actually seen the movie, I have no intention, because I feel like I'd be on a list just for watching it. Like, even if it is solely... Yes. Even if it is solely for the fact to, be able to actually criticize it correctly, to formulate an opinion based on actually watching it, the content of the film is enough.
Yeah. The
premise.
The premise of the film is enough for you to be like, I'm not going to watch this.
Yes.
I'm not going to give... That's another thing, too. That was one of Netflix's defenses of it. It was like, you can't really complain about it until you've watched it, so at least try it, and then you can say something. I see what you're doing. You want to make the money off the film before it gets taken down. Fuck you, Netflix.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fuck you and your service. Did I mention that the Obama family has ties to Netflix? Did I mention that?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because they do. They do.
Speaking of shitty streaming service shenanigans. Um,
What about Stadia?
that exists. um, I was actually referring to Disney Plus and the new Mulan movie. Because, paying the streaming service monthly isn't enough. I will even state, I do that. I pay for Disney Plus because occasionally I like to watch the Star Wars. And sometimes some Disney movies. I like Disney. They used to make good movies. And other people that they bought used to make good movies. um, why the fuck would I pay an additional $30 on top of the streaming service I'm already paying to watch a movie that... What was
Watch
that?
a movie once.
Yeah, once.
You're not even paying to own the film.
No.
You're paying to watch it a singular time.
And from what I've heard, is subpar. It is not only a bad movie, but it is worse than all of the other live-action remakes of classic Disney films that have been made. Like, there was a graph on Reddit that I saw. You probably saw it too. But, it showed the decline of rating from the original classic to the live-action remake. So, it had, I think Lion King was, the classic one had the highest rating of all of the originals, and then it dropped, and it had that. But, Mulan was, it was roughly up there, but it is all the way at the back. It has the biggest decline. It has the lowest rating of all of the new live-action remakes. It is apparently a shitty fucking movie, and I don't know how true this is at all. I only saw one half and post on it. Allegedly that the movie was made for China, as obvious as that sounds, but it to pandle to China, like corn China, which is never good. You don't want to pandle.
Let's not forget that the main actress of the film actually thanked China, despite the fact that the Chinese government has put a large populace of Muslims in concentration camps. Just in case anyone wasn't aware that they've been doing that for a couple of years now. I think it's been 3 years that they started doing that, going on 4. Because it was shortly after Trump got elected that they started putting Muslims in concentration camps. And they're still doing it today. Oh, did I mention that anyone who speaks up about that in their country?
What about Tiananmen Square?
Never heard of it. Whoa. Sorry.
The what now?
Sorry, I can't hear what you said over this money that China gave me. Sorry. Right. What was that?
Is that a new gaming console?
Yeah. Speaking of Tiananmen Square, did you hear about how Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the slogan for it is "Know Your History," and they had a less than 1 second clip of Tiananmen Square, and they had to take it down. And they still keep they still keep the tagline "Know Your History" when they themselves altered a clip from history.
I want to say
Fuck yourselves.
I want to say they're also trying to not make it political. When it's fucking called the Cold War. The most political of the wars. That's hence Cold War. Because there's no actual, well, there is fighting, but it's all proxy wars. Fuck, man. Is that the same one where it's Ronald Reagan as president? And the meme is press F to send crack to inner cities or some shit?
I haven't seen that, but Ronald Reagan is in this game.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Joys. This is a very entertaining stream.
Isn't it? I was kind of hoping you would keep talking.
I was kind of the one carrying the conversation for the most of this stream.
Isn't that always?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's real news.
Yeah. Fuck. So that brings me to at least the last part of my very quickly written script. So the games that I've played this week, or at least recently, because I haven't really played much that I feel like sharing.
You've been playing some of those bargain bin hentai games on the Steam sales.
So Ghost of Tsushima, Tsushimama, Sucker Punch's latest game. It's pretty good. It's fun. Yeah. Waiting for that free DLC thing.
Waiting for that co-op.
Yeah. Did you ever play Sly Cooper? I mean, it was only on PS2s and on PlayStation, so I don't know.
I know of its existence.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get it when I had a PS2, but I never found it.
Yeah. They're great fun.
Are you saying that because it's from the same company?
Yes, Sucker Punch made I want to say they also made Spyro, but I might be mixing them up with someone else. I could be wrong. Fuck. I need to double check that.
Honestly, I thought that Spyro was made by Square Enix, but I could be wrong about that.
No, that's not right. Spyro. I want to say it's Sucker Punch. No, I'm sorry. That was made by Insomniac. They're the same people that made Ratchet and Clank.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Sucker Punch made Sly Cooper. I want to say they made something before them, but I can't think of it. But yeah, Sly Cooper, fucking great series. Oh, it's Infamous. Infamous is the series they made in between Sly Cooper and.
Yeah.
I liked Infamous. I liked 1 and 2. I played First Son, or whatever the fuck it was called, Second Son, on the PS4. It was the first PS4 game I got. I played it one time, and haven't picked it up again. Maybe for like 2 hours at most. But yeah, no. Sly Cooper at the time is definitely the magnum opus. Ghost of Tsushima, I haven't beaten it, haven't played enough of it to say. It's fucking gorgeous. It's got a good game, a very fun gameplay loop. But it's too early for me to say if it's the new magnum opus. But definitely enjoying it. The other company that I enjoyed that made trilogies on the PS2, I'd say, are losing to Sucker Punch now. The ones that made Jak and Daxter, then The Last of Us. They also made the Uncharted series, which was also good. Good old Naughty Dog. Oh, how far they have fallen.
I'll tell you, I bought the Uncharted collection for the PS4.
Oh yeah?
Yep, I bought it on disc, lost the disc, and then it came out on PS Plus for free. So I got it for free. So they lost the disc, which is pretty cool.
I never actually...
They're not that great. I mean, at least the first one, which...
I never beat the first one.
It's obviously the oldest one, so it's bound to have like the growing pains of a new IP. But let me tell you, I played lots of games far after the newest, ones have come out, 5 or 6 entries down the line. And I've gone and played the first one. I thought it was pretty good still. I can look past its age, right? In terms of not just obviously graphics, but in terms of gameplay and how clunky it may or may not be. But let me fucking tell you something. Uncharted is so fucking clunky. The first one, I could not stand when I'm trying to jump from one object to another. On the screen, right? Here's Drake. Here's an object to the left of Drake. So obviously if it's to the left, you move your thumbstick to the left, right?
Yeah.
Well, what Drake does is he jumps backwards and then falls to his fucking death.
So let me say
hate
something.
it so much.
I agree with you. Uncharted 2 was the first entry I played. It wasn't until after I had played Uncharted 3 that I eventually managed to play Uncharted 1. Again, I played Uncharted 1 for one session, never played it again. I actually think the game bugged out and I could not get past a certain part because a gate would not open. I don't remember. It's been a while. But I agree. Uncharted 1, not great. I'm glad it existed because the sequels happened because of it. Because Uncharted 2, I found amazing. It's great. It's a great game. I love it. It's still a little bit clunky, but it lacks, you can fucking play it. And you could, you can still feel the Naughty Dog charm that used to exist. Because fucking Jak and Daxter, that series was fucking great. I don't know, you probably never played that
There's
either.
a new one, right? There's a new one for the PS5, didn't they say?
Jak and Daxter? Fucking news to me.
Maybe it was Ratchet and Clank.
It was Ratchet and Clank, the one, there's a new female Law Max or some shit that already,
Yep.
the fucking minute it was shown, thousands of War 34 pictures were made. Yeah, that's Ratchet and Clank. I don't know if Jak and Daxter will be brought back. It should, but I don't know if I want the same team working on it. Because...
Speaking of the same team working on a game, I really wish that Microsoft would just fire 343 Industries. I really do. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if Halo Infinite doesn't live up to half of my expectations, that's a pretty generous ask, right? At least live up to half of my expectations, right?
Mm.
If they can't even do that, dude, fucking drop them. I'd rather them whore out Halo's IP like EA's doing, or like Disney's doing with Star Wars to EA. I'd rather them do that than what they're doing currently. Imagine Obsidian making a Halo RPG. Imagine CDPR making a Halo RPG. Right?
Hold on, I gotta turn my camera off for a moment.
Right? And then, like, I've always said this, I've said this for a while to a lot of people who immediately disagree with it because of the game I'm referring to. But if, for instance, there was a Halo game similar in theory to Warframe, right? And I'm not talking about the gameplay loop. I mean just the idea of the game. Maybe there's... Because you haven't seen Halo Legends, have you? You still haven't seen that movie?
I also am unfamiliar with... wait, did you say Warframe or Warhammer?
Warframe.
Oh, okay,
not
okay,
Warhammer.
okay, sorry.
Warframe, the Space Ninjas.
Yeah, because I actually know nothing about Warhammer, but Warframe I've played enough. Well, no, not enough, but I've played it to know what you're talking about.
Imagine, right, where you have post, Halo 5, right? You have a Halo where you're playing as your own Spartan that you do multiplayer, like Halo Reach, right? And your entire game, you're playing as that one character. Now, perhaps if you, or maybe even you have multiple characters, because you know what, like the idea with Warframe, where you have multiple frames you can play as,
Yeah,
which inherently change how you play the game.
yeah, essentially classes.
And all that. Yeah, classes basically. Yeah. What if you had different Spartans that had different training that could do different tasks? Like maybe one was better for stealth, and perhaps that character could do what other Spartans couldn't. Perhaps that character could scale walls and is better at that than another Spartan like Emil from Halo Reach, who you send in with that Warframe, that tailored Spartan to go do a different kind of mission, right?
That sounds
yeah. And then you go from planet to planet, because again, there's a lot of planets in the Halo universe that are colonized and that there's lots of conflict on. So there's a lot of potential there for places that you could go to go do something, right? Especially with because again, what you find out is that there was never one covenant in Halo. There was the main covenant, and then there was a whole bunch of different covenants out there, right? That was the main one, like the church, we'll say, right? But there's of course different splits of it that have their own beliefs all throughout the galaxy. Well, there's a lot of potential out there for like faction wars and all that, that you could do with that game. And like, let's say you have your own ship, like let's say Mass Effect with the Normandy, where you have your own galaxy map where you can decide where you want to go from your ship because you decided I have to go do this mission, right? And you go to a different planet, you kill a boss or whatever, you do that whole shebang, you get your loot, and you go back out and you do all that over and over, right?
Yeah.
And then story quests and everything. Again, Halo, what everything does right is they do tell really good stories, right? Excluding Halo 5.
Do you know what you basically just described? Like, kinda almost? Destiny. You kinda almost basically described Destiny. At least Destiny 1, I don't know Destiny 2.
I'd say it's a bit different than in how I'm like conceiving it.
I assume, but
I have another idea for a Halo game that is actually pretty close to Destiny as well. But in this case, I mean, it's more similar to Warframe, how I would want it to work. Like, even like randomly generated worlds like they do have in Warframe as compared to Destiny, where there's static maps that you know where everything is and all that. And again, like large open maps like Warframe. Like, have you played the open world on Warframe?
No.
It's crazy. It's fucking huge. Right? This is not randomly generated. It's just one map, but it's a huge, huge map.
Yeah.
And like, back to what I was saying earlier, actually, we'll go to that. With the idea of certain Spartans having certain training, if you didn't want to have multiple Spartans for classes, perhaps different armors gave you different abilities. Like, that was an idea that people wanted during Halo 3, right? With like the Hayabusa armor, people thought that if you got all the achievements and you got that katana on your back for Halo 3, which was real, not everyone knew about it at the time, but if you got all the achievements, you got a katana on your back with the Hayabusa armor, right? Because that was a part of a deal that Bungie had with the Ninja Gaiden guys, whatever the hell their company was called. So they had Hayabusa, which is themed after the Ninja Gaiden armor in Halo. People was like, well, what if you could use that katana? Well, in Halo Legends, there's a short movie in that where there's this Spartan who's like doing flips and running off of walls, doing some crazy John Wick shit, that you do not do in a Halo game. You've never been able to do that. But what if you could? Again, like with Warframe, you can scale walls and shoot at the same time, do all these ninja flips and shit. Again, Spartans are fully capable of doing that. They've been able to do that. They're highly agile people.
Yeah. Like, as heavy as the Murano armor is, it basically is just an extension of them. It doesn't actually weigh them down. It actually makes them faster. It augments them. It's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of redundancy, essentially. You would think it does one thing, but it in fact does the exact opposite.
Democrats. Final answer for 500. Joe Biden. Jokes aside.
Yes.
We'll drop it, but basically, I would love it for a Halo to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That actually sounds great. I mean, that is something that has been done time and time again already. Like that, the fact that Halo hasn't done that already is probably just because of the fact that the campaigns, at least, have always been... Well, I don't even want to say that, because you could always do multiplayer. War design probably has a lot to do with that, because if you had multiple, like, let's say, abilities you could do, it would probably break the game quite a bit. But at the same time, now that as I'm saying it, Halo Reach had, like, you could pick up a jetpack and literally fly wherever you wanted. So I'm like, but they at least designed the levels around the fact that they knew that's in the game. Like, I'm thinking back on Halo 1, it's like, the only way you could fly is if you got in a Banshee.
Mhm.
And I mean, the only levels you could do that are ones you needed to get in a Banshee in order to get somewhere. Um, but if you could, like, say, fucking ninja run up shit and jump off the walls and shit, you could skip half the fucking levels, basically. Um,
Depends on, again, like, it depends on how they make the levels,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And obviously, they should put a lot of restrictions on how your abilities work, and
true.
especially with that, like with traversal, lots of restrictions on that. Like there's certain parts of the map you can do that on. I think that would make for a lot of interesting combat
Hmm?
scenarios for, like, again, like you mentioned, Destiny. Let's pull that dip from Destiny where there's, strikes. What if, unlike in Strikes and Destiny, where you just say, all right, well, this guy's a dick, go kill him, In Halo, there's lots of different figures that you can have actual backstories for that you hunt them down. Like Destiny 2 kind of did that in a little bit. Like they give you some exposition as to what the character is that you're going to kill and why it's important that you kill them. But I feel like you should be able to hunt down infamous characters that you already know from Halo that perhaps weren't killed yet, and you go hunt them down.
Yeah, that
Or
makes sense.
perhaps, like, maybe you could do faction wars, like I said, like earlier this stream, where like in Warframe, I forgot what the two factions are called, but there's the faction that you first fight in the tutorial for Warframe. There's them, and then there's the other guys, which have like cube shaped helmets, right? And they all look like engineers, basically. Well, they often go back at each other and have their own little, wars against each other, and you can decide which one you want to help. One will give you this bonus for helping them, and the other will give you this. What if you could make decisions like that in this theoretical Halo game? That'd be pretty cool. Perhaps for you, it makes one territory in the galaxy map a lot more accessible, or perhaps because you chose to go against a certain group in a part of the galaxy, you're going to be bombarded by elite troops every time you go into a mission in that area for like the next couple days. Because like where I'm kind of getting that idea from as well is like, I don't think you didn't play Halo 3's, not Halo 3, Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, did you?
I haven't played Mass Effect really.
So
I've only played Mass Effect 1. Not even all
Mass
the way.
Effect 3, right? When they had events, right? There was an event where you had to kill X amount of Banshees, right? Banshees are like these really tall, slender figures. They're basically like Reaper modified Asaris,
Okay.
and they will insta kill you if they pick you up. They'll pick up and jam their fist through your heart and kill you,
Oh,
right?
kinky.
If you don't kill enough of them in the allotted time given to you, like a week or so, the game punishes you, and no matter who you're fighting, which faction, Banshees will show up and try to kill you. Like a lot of them. You'll be brutally punished for failing to complete that. That'd be pretty cool for this Halo as well. Like let's say, the Banished, right? The Banished are a new faction that have been introduced in Halo Wars 2, and they're going to be the main faction that you fight in Halo Infinite. What if you're fighting the Banished and something happens and you fail a mission there? The Banished show up in other territories and start making conflicts for you where they're trying to do another mission and just royally screw it for you,
Hmm.
But if you do another mission to cancel that, you can do that, There's lots of different ways that they could definitely like change how each mission plays out, almost like Skulls in a way. Like they could use that as the replacement for Skulls.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, makes sense.
I get it. Like I've thought a lot about this. I actually had a script I had written down for my own proposal for this game. So if anyone would like to know more about it, I'll be making a video on it in the future on my channel. Make Halo great again. Not a plug. Totally a plug.
That is a plug. Is that actually your handle though?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, it is. You change it like all the time.
All
Do
the
you?
time.
And
2
is
years ago,
that
I haven't changed since.
is that YouTube? Is that Twitch?
It is YouTube indeed.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Oh, look at you.
But you should mostly look on YouTube because that's where all my content is.
Yeah.
If you want politics, go to my Twitter. If you want shit posting, go to my Facebook. If you want actual videos, go to YouTube.
Alright, so I think it's time for a word from our sponsors. We don't have any sponsors.
But if V8 would like to sponsor, they're not a sponsor yet, but they could be. Or Matt and Dare.
Waste your money on this podcast. Although if you did do that, we'd probably be a lot more likely to do it, because I would quit both my fucking jobs and do this
And I would absolutely do it too. Yeah,
so yeah, if you... Hey, here's a free ID for both of you. Mountain Dew V8. Get gamers who drink Mountain Dew, put that shit in a V8. What's the V8? Come on, trying to do a thing here. Put this in that, and the gamers won't die because it's actually healthy.
Not as bad for you. And then you can milk them for their profits even more, because they'll still be alive in 20 years.
Yeah. See? We're already making you money.
Just saying, you should totally do it. Give us that sponsor. We'll actually put time and effort into the quality of the stream.
Yeah.
Next time.
I'll have time to actually know what I'll talk about. Anyway,
Anyway, are you getting Halo Infinite?
I don't know. I might wait to see exactly.
Why would you? It's free.
Guess I'll get Halo Infinite then, huh?
Halo, well, the multiplayer is free. Now, of course, that's the part that really matters. The multiplayer will be free.
See, you say that, but I'm also the guy who's like, I like the story. But apparently I only like the story up until, what, Halo 4?
Try playing Halo 4 and tell me if you like Halo 4, sorry.
One day I'll get there.
For your sake, I hope not. Because then you'll have to play Halo 5. I cringe just thinking about it.
Yeah. Still wondering about the characters being alive in that, considering. But... What?
No spoilers for a game that's old. You can't do that. You can't.
What about spoilers for a book that came out before the first game?
It's okay. No one reads. I can tell you that from my working in retail that people don't read, so it's okay.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Let's see.
Oh yeah, RTX 3000 series.
Fuck. Yeah, I guess we should talk about that, huh? We should talk about we should
Not a sponsor.
Oh no, not a sponsor. But if you want to give me a free one, I'll use it. Because otherwise I'm going to kill myself. Hold on, there it is.
Someone may or may not have recently purchased a 2080 Ti.
Yeah, I might have been trying to build a computer, and instead of waiting, yeah, okay.
Someone might have bought the Gaming X Trio?
I don't know what that is.
The version of the card.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, 3000 series, right?
Yeah, that's a fucking
$500 graphics card. $500 graphics card.
Isn't it $699?
The 2080 is
like double.
3070. 3070 is 500, which is better than a 2080 Ti. The 3080 is, I believe, Digital Foundry, at least as far as how far they've tested it, and with the time they were given, it's roughly 1.8 times, like 8.7 times as fast as a 2080 for 700.
Although it's not really useful at the moment, I believe it has 8K capabilities.
The 3090 does.
3090, okay. So, I mean, even still, I mean, that's not out yet either, I don't think.
They will both be out in 3 days.
Okay, well, but yeah, it will be capable of 8K.
As the recording of this video.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's a live stream. Ha, got you all. You're not watching this anyways. You'll be watching this post time. So let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, there was one moment in time when our viewer count went from 2, because I assume you still have yours, the stream open for you, went up to 3. Yeah, but we still had no chat.
Immediately banned it too.
Yeah, almost immediately. Yeah. But yeah, still no chat. But yeah, no, the 3090, the 3000 series. Holy shit.
AMD.
Holy shit.
Be ready. Don't let Nvidia beat you down in AMD. At least try. I mean,
yeah, there was a meme. It's like a guy poking AMD with a stick. Like, come on, do something.
Yeah.
It's funny because like fucking couple months ago, it was like, why would you even get like? Oh no, I'm thinking Intel, and I'm thinking processors. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say though, it actually wasn't a segue to make fun of you for purchasing.
Oh, I assumed. Yeah, I assumed.
It was actually not. No, it was actually not that at all. What I was gonna say is, finally, at last, when I get the 3080, which is the one I'm targeting, I want to get that one. And I get the new Ryzen 4000 series chips. I'm assuming I'm gonna go with Ryzen instead of Intel this time. AMD. I'll finally be able to get higher than 60 FPS on Tarkov. Finally, my frames won't go to fucking 20 as I'm indoors shooting somebody. You know?
Yeah.
It'd be great.
So what I think I'll end up doing,
is crying in your sleep.
Well, I do that anyway. But once I actually am not in a housing crisis situation, what I'll probably do down the line is once I actually have my PC built and have all the parts, depending on when that happens, whether or not they end up having new cards by then, and what the prices are then, what I'll probably do is put the 280 Ti, because there's no way in hell I'm getting rid of that. I'll probably end up putting that in my old PC.
As a backup or as a
streaming
PC?
No, I'll end up assuming that. I mean, I'm going to use it as a streaming PC, but I'm going to get
a mining machine
for Bitcoin. Yeah.
Make your money back from the 2080 Ti that you just wasted, and then you get yourself a 3000.
Yeah. So what I'll do in far future when I actually can afford to do shit like this, is I'll either get one of the 3000 series, or if again by that time a 4000 series comes out, or whatever the fuck. Assuming the price is also nice. That. Yeah, I'll just get a new card and then put the 2080 I have now in my old PC, and then just bottleneck it that way via the processor, because now I'll have a fucking 2080 Ti in the old fucking whatever the fuck I have processor, which I think is a 4770.
Yeah, I think you had an i7-4770, which is the first CPU that I had on my first computer.
Yeah.
I believe we had almost the identical same computer around the time that Dying Light came out, because
I helped you with it.
Card.
Huh? Didn't I help you with it? Like recommend? Bunch of shit?
No.
No? Didn't I recommend?
The guy who built my computer, we sat at his house for hours to look at PC parts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the 4770.
But by the way, don't let some asshole in Brownfield make your computer for you. Build it yourself, people. Either that or do it pre-built, so you can at least actually have written documents saying that, hey, you built it, you fixed the fucking thing. Right?
Yeah. Just don't do it from Alienware.
Yeah, don't go to Dell.
Don't go to Dell. No, fuck Dell. God. I'd almost even say don't go to HP. HP's not much better. It is better. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but not by much.
It's like marginally better than Dell. Just not worth it.
Yeah.
MSI, however, they actually have a pretty good they have a pretty good couple notebooks coming out that are supposed to compete with the Chromebooks.
Well, I mean, they make good parts to begin with, so obviously the completed product of all their parts should be good. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I was to get myself a laptop, I was looking at those new ones from MSI, like their little notebooks. They're like 15 inches or so. Again, they're supposed to compete with Chromebooks.
yeah. What was that? That old laptop you had back in high school? What was that?
That was an Asus.
Oh, okay. Because that thing was hefty. It was like a terabyte hard drive, which at the time was a lot.
Yeah. Yep. It was a terabyte hard drive. I don't remember what it had for graphics. I don't even remember if it had a dedicated graphics card or not.
Well, I mean, it was a laptop back in fucking early 2010s, so...
But the crazy thing is it ran Fallout so fucking good. Because the first game I played on my computer, I pirated. I bought online legally, 100%. I own Fallout 3, guys. It's okay. I had the Fallout Anthology, right? Fuck off, all of you. I see you judging me. It played Fallout 3 like beautifully on ultra settings at 60 FPS and never dropped beneath that ever. So even if it was like Intel, memory or the fuck it is for the integrated graphics, it still ran it really well. So I wouldn't have even known if it had a dedicated graphics card or not.
Probably didn't.
These new MSI ones, though, they have a 1650 Ti because they refuse to put the new 20 series or 30 series cards paired with Ryzen. They refuse to do it. They're waiting for the Intel chips to come out. There's been like this whole conspiracy that people are like, why is it that I can get a 2070 Super and a shitty i9 from Intel? Why is it that I can do that, but I can't get a 2070 Super or higher and a AMD Ryzen 3 3900X? What, or 3700X even? Why is that? No answers. So it's a whole conspiracy. Just like, remember when it was so long ago now. Fuck. Yeah, there was a conspiracy that Nvidia sabotaged AMD, and how they figured that out was with The Witcher 3 and Watch Dogs. Witcher 3 and Watch Dogs. Supposedly, like, AMD figured out that Nvidia, and Batman as well. Arkham
Knight.
Arkham Knight.
That was a damn good game.
I stopped meeting it ever since like the ending got spoiled for me. That's happened to me with like a lot of games I actually like, and I just don't play them anymore because the spoiler ruined it for me.
I believe I 100%ed it. I think I did. If I didn't, the only thing I didn't do was the Riddler trophies. But I got the secret ending, so I mean I got it. So.
Nice.
Yep. Anything else you gotta say? We just hit the hour.
To everyone who is watching this, XCOM 2 is on sale. Get XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Not a sponsor, but I would like them to be. If there ever comes an XCOM 3, I'm pre-ordering it. That's all.
All right.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah. So
should be.
Yeah. So once again, we are going to try to do this weekly. That was my cat in the background being an asshole. We are going to try to do this weekly. Real life dependent. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching if you did watch, which and
whenever you do decide to watch this.
Yeah, and this will be put on YouTube. On the joint channel that we have. I fucking don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Two Nerds with Nothing Better to Do. Probably going to rebrand that.
Yeah.
Because the abbreviation is very long. But yeah, I'll probably maybe do something on my channel, being like, hey, new podcast on this joint channel. I don't know if you plan on doing something like that either. Just so if you have anybody that actually watches you, you'll be like, hey, look at this thing over here that I'm doing with my friend. Look at that. I don't know, maybe I'll actually also try to advertise this on Reddit and be like, hey, here's a podcast that talks about gaming and also fucking pedophilia, so hey.
The two topics go hand in hand, apparently.
Yeah, more times than they should. So, yeah, I think that's a wrap.
I think so as well.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll do this again soon. I mean, I'll probably write down a couple of scripts, or perhaps we can work on one together.
Yeah.
We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, actually,
Either way,
keep track of what we'll go on doing every week. And
all right.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed watching.
Bye-bye.